8 signs you were never in love. Most people have a desire to be in a romantic relationship, which can be challenging as it requires both parties to be emotionally fit. They need to be prepared to make sacrifices, compromise, and grow together. In order to be in a healthy relationship, this will involve being patient, understanding, and constantly improving. On the other hand, it's also important to be able to identify when the relationship isn't working anymore and have the strength to walk away. If you're unable to differentiate between being in love or not, here are 8 signs that you weren't ever in love. Number 1, your relationship moved too fast with your person. Love takes time to develop, so when things are moving really fast, it's likely that it's a result of infatuation. As Susan Winter says, infatuation lives in illusion. Love can survive reality. When we meet someone and start falling for them, we base the relationship on our dreams instead of who is actually in front of us. Examples of this would include imagining a future with them, lusting over them, and being obsessed with them, all while only knowing them for a short period of time. Number 2, you're constantly worried. You start experiencing anxiety, which is usually associated with digestive issues, and you have trouble sleeping. As per recent studies, psychologists state that anxiety can show in these bodily dysfunctions. Perhaps there is something that you need to say to your partner, but you aren't sure how because you'll dread the result thereof. Remember, one can only avoid the truth for so long before it catches up to us. When you try to force a relationship which simply doesn't seem to be working, it will only end up hurting both of you. Both of you deserve to be loved, and love should be found elsewhere if it doesn't exist in your relationship. Number 3, you don't care what they're doing. While we don't want to stalk our partners or keep track of their every single move, it is important that you care about their general whereabouts and who they're hanging out with. If you don't really care what they're up to or who they hang out with, you're probably not that into them. Number 4, you're not your true self around them. While we all feel self-conscious and worried about making a bad impression, when you fall in love with someone, being open and honest about who you truly are will allow you to let loose and be comfortable around them. People who have a long sense of love and vulnerability are more open to vulnerability in comparison to people who have no bond or feel disconnected from their partners. When you are emotionally disconnected, you tend to build up walls to guard yourself and block your partner out. If you haven't shared your emotions or secrets with someone, then you haven't fully loved them. Number 5, you expect them to be perfect. You create an expectation in your mind and therefore expect them to be perfect. But when things don't go as you'd imagine, you get upset at the reality. Susan Winter states that infatuation needs perfecting in order to survive. When we create expectations of a perfect person, for example, expecting them to dress perfectly, speak perfectly, or not make any mistakes, you're not giving them room to be honest with you or honest about the relationship. However, when you love someone, you accept that they aren't perfect. You acknowledge and accept them as they are and work through challenges together. Number 6, you can easily walk away from the relationship without being hurt. If you can easily walk out of your person's life or ghost them without feeling sad or hurt, you probably weren't really in love with them. Similarly, when you can easily forget someone, chances are you did yourself and the other person a favor by walking away, as the relationship wasn't built to last to begin with. Number 7, you're mentally and emotionally distracted from the relationship. Your mind is somewhere else, and not long after, your heart follows too. As Stephen Betchen mentions, partners who are in love tend to focus on their counterparts. When you notice the little things and voice your concerns when you're worried about something, this shows that you care about them and the relationship. Whereas if you avoid the difficult conversations and don't put in an effort to resolve conflict, you decrease the significance of their presence in your life. Number 8, you distance yourself. As we know it, most relationships start off with a deep emotional attraction or connection, and eventually over time, this tapers off. However, when you're in love, you would still want to be around one another no matter what. When you distance yourself from your partner or find that you prefer spending time apart, such as canceling plans with them and rather hang out with friends, then you're most likely not in love. Well, there you have it. These are 8 signs that you were never really in love. Do any of these signs apply to you? Have you had an experience where you thought you were in love, but you weren't? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you liked this video, then be sure to subscribe for more.